I experienced a lot of the create. Was bullied a lot. Music is what helped me go through this difficulty. Konbanwa, Black. Konbanwa, everyone. Going back to where I started.
Yeah.
I started from Crete, Irakli or Crete, where I'm actually right now. And I grew up in a musical house. So, you know,
Grew
my
up in the
mother-
musical house. So does that mean your parents are musician also?
My mother.
Your mother?
I studied classical piano since I was very young, and I have two sisters. We all played instruments. You know, I also played the cello. My sisters played the violin, the guitar, the double bass.
Wow.
My mom played the accordion. My father loved to sing, and he has a great voice. So we were growing up in a house that was full of music. I started singing when I was around 4, I think.
4?
I have some photos of me singing at my father's restaurant with instrument accompaniment on the microphone. So I was already practicing to perform in front of an audience, I guess.
Wow.
When I was 18, I moved to England. I moved to Brighton in England, where I studied contemporary singing. And I went to the British and Irish Institute of Modern Music, where I learned, all the contemporary styles of, the 20th century, and just a little bit before that as well. My studies were for 3 years.
3 years.
And then I graduated, and I actually auditioned for Cirque du Soleil before I graduated.
Oh wow. Then you were around 20? 20
I
years
was
old?
20 years old when I auditioned for Cirque du Soleil.
Wow.
But as you know, and a lot of people know that, you audition for Cirque du Soleil, but then it may take a year or two or, longer until you hear from them in terms of, getting a contract, getting in a show.
I understand.
So, yes, so I auditioned before I graduated. And later I heard back from Cirque du Soleil that they would like me to sing in KURIOS.
I understand. When you went to Montreal, were all musics already fixed? I mean, scores or something? Or did you join in creation?
I experienced a lot of the creation.
Yeah.
I can't really say a percentage, but a big percentage of the music was still not made. So a lot of it was made during those 3 months, and I was feeling lucky to be a part of this creation process because I learned a lot from it too. I worked with Rafael Bo, who was one of the composers, but I also worked with Bob and Bill, who was the other pair of composers, and they both had different styles and also different ways of composing. So for me it was a very nice experience to experience both.
I understand. In 2017, I think, you decided to go away from KURIOS, right? So,
Yes.
What was the reason for?
Yes, so 2017 I had already completed 3 years of performing with Cirque du Soleil.
Yes.
I completed 1,074 shows, and for me it was time to move on to something new and develop and learn new things. I really wanted to study more, so I decided to apply for a master's degree at the Berklee Global Jazz Institute. When I left Cirque du Soleil, I still didn't have an admission decision, but I knew at this time in my life that it was time to move on to something new. So I just trusted, and I decided, okay, it's time to move on. No matter what happens, we will see.
I understand. You started a career in Boston, and how did you become assistant professor there?
I was asked to, submit my resume from the Berklee Global Jazz Institute because they wanted a new professor for the business class. They asked me if I'm interested to be the professor there.
I understand. But even if they are looking for that, they didn't ask to whole graduates, I think. So what was the biggest reason you were picked, you think?
From his explanation, I understood that they were looking for a professor, a young professor that is an independent artist who has built their career by themselves, is still building it and understands the current conditions in the music industry that are always changing. And so they wanted somebody that is able to transfer this experience and knowledge of the now in the young generation. And also they liked the fact that I had already studied in this program. So I understood also the system and the students, and I was one of them, you know.
I'm very sure you as a person the best for that position. So did you have any specific routines in backstage?
Yes, of course. Getting ready for a show,
Yeah.
as Black knows very well as well. You know, my routine was pretty, solid and almost always the same. I would have a specific time when I'm eating, and I would do my makeup. Then I would take a break from makeup. I would do a little bit of a warm-up of my voice, about 30 minutes. Then I would go back to makeup. Then I would do my hair, like I had to do braids and then put a wig on. I would put my costume on. So there was a process, and the whole process, I would say, took about 2.5 hours, you know. And depending on the availability of time, I would come earlier to do some physical preparation. So either yoga or just some stretching or some workout, small workout.
What was the big difficulties in your life and how did you overcome that?
When I was born, my eye was closed.
Oh,
So I grew up
yeah.
until 16 years old, really. It was half closed. I had already done 2 operations, and it was half closed. So when you're like around 10, 11, 12, 13 at school, kids can be really mean. So I was bullied a lot. So I remember that affected my confidence a lot.
I understand.
So I felt really low self-esteem, and I didn't want to look at people in the eye, and I was very shy. So that was a difficulty in my childhood. But I would say that music is what helped me go through this difficulty, honestly, because I found something that I was really passionate about and I loved doing. So it didn't matter what people thought of my appearance or what people thought of me. I was very strong. I was confident because I loved playing music.
I understand.
Teaching is around, let's say, 30% of
30%.
my activity. Yeah. So the rest is performing, right? Being a musician, not only performing, meaning a concert, but to get to a concert, you are working a lot in rehearsals, writing, learning, practicing, recording. There's a lot that goes behind the presentation. So this whole process has changed. I would say it has not completely been eliminated because I'm still performing some concerts online. I have just shifted right now my attention. So meaning, since I know I'm not going to be performing a concert, I'm working on different things that I didn't have much time to work on before. So it's a period of preparing for the future. So I'm practicing more, I'm learning more, I'm writing more. And so this is something that is going to help me develop. And when the time comes, and hopefully soon, and everybody will keep healthy.
I will ask you, do you have any tips to stay positive?
I would say that the way I try to do it is to take one day at a time. Because yes, it's important to have goals and the future and planning the future, but in situations like this, a lot of things are out of our control. So I try to detach from the need to have a control and a plan. Every day, take it one day at a time. Try to understand the future is not in your hands right now. So this is helping me to cope with my everyday life. Wake up and do something creative on the spot. And sending my thoughts to everybody. Take care and
Thank
stay
you.
safe.